I'm going to record this. And I'm going to, somewhere down here, there's a way to share my screen. I know that. Bingo. And we will go to screen 2. Share. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you notice, one thing is in change from the mission excellence plan screen or sheet, put on all of our state leader team so that we can report our activities. We changed this from the mission excellence plan to the mission activity record. So this is a place where we can make a record of the things that we do and that the district captains and other people do. If you go down here and look at Region 1, House District 1, there's not a district captain there, but it says Activist HD1. And so the plan is to put in for every district that does not have a district captain, we're going to make up a tab that says Activist House District, whatever that district is. And then if you have a volunteer activist or somebody else in that House district that does something that shows up on the activity record from the phone app, you can enter a record of it and it'll show up on our state report for our state totals, even though it wasn't actually done by a district captain. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but not everybody's got access to make reports.
Yeah, they do, but it's just not on the app. They can make the report at conventionestates.com. Underneath their profile, that menu, it will drop down and give you an activity report and you can enter it there.
For my
Just-
volunteers.
Yes, volunteers can't do it on the app, but they can do it on the website.
Well, you're gonna have to write that out for me so I can give it to them, because I'm not gonna remember that.
We can maybe have a training on that at some time in the future. So what I want to do is I want to click on one of these tabs and show you. This is what you'll see for a particular tab. If you remember previously in this first column, we had points. And then under each month, it had a place where you entered the number of actions and it automatically multiplied and gave you a second column with points.
Right.
We did away with the points and just all people need to do is enter an action. And everything that's on here corresponds to the phone app. So other than, I think it says virtual or in person here on this first one, attended a COS event, attended a training. Mostly they're in the same sequence, but not 100%. It doesn't match up because we put things into these 3 categories of connect, build, grow. And under other, I have 2 others on here. One under an other, somebody reports any kind of an activity where they're connecting with other people within COS, attending training, attending a webinar, anything like that. They can enter that action up here. If they do any other activity that would be related to growing the grassroots, they would enter that activity down here. I didn't put anything under build for other because I think everything that we might do is covered. Called a legislator, candidate position report, emailed, followed up, met with legislator, sent a letter to the legislator, spoke to the legislator's assistant or visit to the Capitol. I don't think there's anything else that we would report on the phone app that would fit here that's beyond those. So There isn't an other in this area, but there is an other for Connect, and there is an other for Grow.
So Gary, if we've already entered some things in there for January, do we need to re-enter them?
You probably entered those on the Mission Excellence Plan sheet.
Yeah,
That was
Okay.
for last year. And yeah, you'll need to re-enter those on this
for
sheet,
January. Okay.
right? I need to go in and lock some things. I'll have to figure out how to do that. So I'll probably like lock this column B so people can't edit things on there. And the same on the summary sheet. I'll probably lock some things on there once I'm done. Because the way this is set up now, there's a link for this sheet in the general tab. So everybody that has the link can edit anything on here. That's a little dangerous, but we'll see if it proves to be a problem. I may have to lock it and just give you guys access. For right now, if you give this link to somebody that's a district captain or a volunteer activist, they should be able to go in and enter changes under a tab for under their name or under their house district, and it'll then show up on the summary. I have to go back to that summary and put all those lines back in for the house districts that I took out. And I will probably right now, the freeze frame includes down through line 9. I'll plan to move that up so it locks on line 3 or 2 so that we don't show at the top all the time. But anyway, you can see what it is. A couple questions for you. Right now, I have a dark gray bar between each region. Do you want me to leave that there or take those out to make the whole sheet a little shorter?
I like the bar.
Me too.
Okay. I'll plan to leave it in. I might make those lines a little narrower, those lines, but anyway, it's a little easier to navigate that way. Just thing to remember is people cannot enter any change on the summary sheet. The changes have to be entered on the tab for whatever district captain it is. And if you want your name in the line as a region captain, you can let me know that, and I'll put you in for that house district if you want. I'm going to mute myself for a minute. I'm getting a call from Mike Baugh.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good.
Hey, Dale.
Hi, Dale.
Good to see you. We just finished up COS Indiana Live, so
Yeah.
wanted to jump on board here. So I'm going to try and get into your meetings here at least once a month, maybe more frequently, but got to stay on top of you guys. You know, I gotta know what you are all doing, and so.
Glad you could join us.
Well, thank you. Thomas, you look dangerous tonight. What does holy smokes, he's even got gloves on, huh? Are you cold or what? You're muted.
I'm cold.
You are cold?
Helen's not. My body's cold, so
Oh,
thermostat's not working up in here.
Oh, all right, okay. Well, I hope Gary's having a good conversation with Michael. I am concerned about him, and hopefully is gonna still stay with us. So anyway, so Cheryl, have you taken over the school board yet?
I'm trying to.
You
I
are?
was sworn in on the 31st and my
Were you?
term started the 1st. And I have my first meeting this Thursday.
Coming up this Thursday.
Yes,
Yes, okay, all right.
it's going to be interesting. I met with the board president and the superintendent and the superintendent-elect, who also is currently the assistant superintendent. We had a 2-hour meeting so they could tell me how to be a good board member.
Now, do you have to, at every meeting, are you responsible for reporting certain information, or are you just there to listen, or?
Well, they send us a board packet a few days ahead of the meeting, and I got mine today, the hard copy. I had access to the digital copy, so I kind of skimmed it on Saturday, but it's 140 pages long,
Wow,
and I have to read all of that because we're going to be voting on that Thursday evening. And if I have any questions, I have to ask them before the school board meeting. So they
wow,
can iron it out and make sure I'm on their page.
wow, wow. 140 pages, really?
140 pages.
Wow.
Yeah.
Better than Congress.
Pardon?
Said it's better than Congress. Give you 2,000 pages and 2 hours to read it.
Right.
They're
right.
running a whole country. This is just a school board.
140 is still a lot.
It is a lot. Some of it, well, I use this Neola, which I had heard about before. I just really didn't pay that much attention to it. So I've got to do some research. And I'm a member of the Indiana School Board Association now. Is that what they call it? Indiana? Yeah, it's ISBA. And there's an opportunity for me to attend an event, I believe it's in February, to discuss legislation that perhaps can be introduced into the State House this term. So they want to influence what's being passed as well. So that could be interesting too, because I'll have that connection. I think I'll have access to more information that will help me even with COS.
Great. Have any of you go on the Indiana IGA site and look at what is that, Indiana General Assembly
Yes.
website, and look at the list of legislation that's being considered now in the Senate as well as the House?
I haven't looked at it yet, but I will be.
I tell you, there's like over 100 on the Senate side, and it's approaching that on the House side as well.
Not surprised.
How in the world do you sort through all that? I don't know. We got to sort through it some way and find the ones that we want to try and support. So.
Well, not all of those are gonna be brought up, are they? Don't they have to go to committee first?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a process. Yeah. But there's just a lot to absorb there at one time. So anyway.
I think Marty is working on that, isn't he?
Yeah.
So,
But the point, a point I would like to make with regard to that, though, is what we want to get to the point where our constituents, through you, through the region captains and district captains, but through you are voicing what's important to them, what issues are important to them. And it's then those issues, those interests that are being expressed by our supporters in Convention of States, that will drive then the pieces of legislation that we want to pick out and support in the upcoming session. So we're not to that point yet. We're not to that point, but I don't know if you've talked about this, Gary, but Marty and Larry have got a survey prepared that's going to be going out to try and solicit what people are interested in. But certainly those interests can be expressed and should be expressed through your meetings, through your regional legislative liaisons, and people that you talk about, and your district captains. Those interests should be expressed and come up through you as a region captain. So that's how I envision this to be someday. We're not there yet, but that's what I want to see it become.
Well, Marty's having a meeting tonight with, I know Diane Jones is in it, and whatever they talk about tonight, she's gonna bring up at our meeting on Saturday and let all my district captains know what's going on. So I kind of like the way that works.
Yeah. Good. What's Michael doing, Gary?
He was trying to get on the meeting. I don't
Really?
know why it wasn't working for him to get in. So anyway, I
Sometimes it
told him
doesn't work for me either.
Mhm. It's
a
tricky.
link that you found in Slack didn't work.
Yeah, I use the link in Slack. Had it
Okay.
pinned at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. I usually have to copy and paste and start all over again.
I usually have to do it 2 or 3 times before I'm in.
I went right to November
Exit out and try
28th
again.
and clicked on it. And I got right in.
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
I didn't have any trouble getting in, doing the same thing.
It must be because I live in the sticks. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be related to your quality of your internet connection. I don't know. Does anybody have any other questions about the mission activity record sheet, suggestions, or, thoughts about that?
I
Anything?
thought we were gonna kind of do away with that, and it was gonna pull up everything from the reports automatically. What happened with that?
Well, we did do away with the mission excellence plan, right?
Well, this
We
is bigger.
replaced it with this. And there is no way to automatically link your phone app or the Citizen Builder website directly to this sheet. We have to manually enter things on this sheet. And, Convention of States has lots of other tech priorities other than trying to make something that would help us out to hook them together. So it shouldn't be, try to make it a lot easier. If people record things on their phone throughout the month, all they've got to do at the end of the month is call up those reports, and they can look and see a record of everything they've done and then make note of it on the sheet, if that makes sense.
So where's the report at? How do we get to it?
If you go to the general channel in Slack, it's pinned at the top of that channel.
Okay.
I think this is really great. I think this is I like what Gary's done here. So let's keep working on it. Sue, do you have a region meeting this Saturday, do you?
We did. We had that meeting this last Saturday, a few
Oh,
days ago.
last Saturday, okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
I gotta look at the team up calendar more often. I keep, now, is your next one gonna be a virtual one?
It's a, no, they do like live, so it's monthly, every first Saturday of the month. Same restaurant, Jedi's Restaurant, Northwest Indiana, and we're hoping to get,
So
Get
you're
more.
doing just one live one?
just one live, yeah. Mhm.
You
How'd your
said-
meeting
you
go this
said you-
month?
Huh?
The meeting was, the topic of the meeting was planning for 2023. And, in an effort to get a buy-in from everybody. So Barbara had listed all the things that are coming up, all the gun show and parades in the summer and those types of things. And hoping to not spring it on people when it gets to be about a month out, and they have other activities. So hoping that they have a buy-in to this and know what the calendar is going to bring and know that what their portion is. And if, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Sounds like
It's
a
kinda-
good plan.
But the early days with the weather is not, there's not a whole lot of activities, so it's
Yeah.
hard to keep interest, so.
Right. Cheryl, you
But
got,
they
a
like to
meeting-
get together.
no, Cheryl, you have a meeting coming up. Tell me what your plans are for that meeting.
Well, we're going to discuss the school board issues for sure. But also we're going to discuss the opportunities available to go and talk to some of these legislators. I mean, as much as I want to make changes at the school board level, I'm finding more and more it's going to be critical to touch base with these legislators. Even more so than it was, when I was just doing convention of states. Because a lot of the things that they do at the school board level are things they do out of rote because they have to every year have to do this. Every year we vote on this. So it's been interesting and educational. But we're also going to be talking about volunteer activism and trying to get some of these people engaged that haven't really engaged. Some of my people have been calling volunteers. I noticed, Dale, you called some people that are on my team. Quite a few, actually. I was curious, though, were you getting a very good response with them? Are you just leaving messages or what's happening with that? I haven't had a chance to go back through and click on each person's name.
I would say in most cases, it's messages. Occasionally I will get a hold of somebody that I can talk to live. But this go around, I've just been pushing COS Action and Slack to make sure that people have access and know who Steve Prine is as a Slack trainer and those kind of things. So just to provide that information in case they would like to use it.
I see. Well, I appreciate any help I can get.
Let me ask this, I know Cheryl, you're doing the meetings, Sue, you're doing meetings, I know, Vicky, you do, breakfast meeting every month, right?
Yeah.
Thomas, are you doing a meeting still?
No plan on getting started on that.
Okay, let me ask you this. How many meetings are your district captains doing?
Well, right now, Dave Southard had back surgery.
Yeah, I was
We
gonna
had-
ask you about that.
Yeah,
I knew.
I talked to his wife the other day and he's doing okay. But of course, he's still in a lot of pain, he's still recovering. So we canceled his meeting. Dave was doing a meeting at the last of the month, the last Tuesday of the month. And we do ours, well, actually, it's a District 46 does theirs on the third Thursday of the month. And I've been trying to get John Graves committed to doing a meeting near Perrysville. So that hasn't happened yet because his wife's in AFib and has been for several months. And they've had a bunch of issues on the farm and so forth and so on. So it's
Okay,
been
well-
hard to get that meeting established.
My point here is that it's great that you all as region captains are doing meetings, but we want you to get your district captains to be holding town hall meetings.
That's always been my goal, is to have all my district captain spots filled so that they could do meetings and I could just bounce around to the meetings and attend them.
Yeah.
That's been my goal from the beginning.
And of course, utilizing the volunteer activists that have identified themselves in your region. Just looking at my handy dandy list here, Cheryl, I'll pick on you. You've got, according to the last report here, you've got 8 volunteer activists in your region, Region 7.
Um,
And
I
you've got 6 DC team members.
yeah, they commit, and then some of those DC team members probably should be taken off, like Hannah Montgomery, because she just fizzled out.
Well, then let's get them off of there then. Let's do that. Because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, Cheryl's got 16 people. And how is she managing those 16 people? How is she utilizing those 16 people? 8 VAs and 6 DC team members. So evidently that you don't really have 16 people, but that's the way it looks like here.
Right.
But I think we gotta start looking at how we're doing that, you know. Vicky in Region 5, including DC team, VAs, 38 people.
Shouldn't be. But the DCT people are, I don't know, that's just where they go when they
I know.
quit.
Well,
So
let's
they're
get
not
them off
good.
of there. If they're not functioning, if they're not participating, not being a team member, let's convert them back to just standard supporter.
We've
And
been in the process of doing that the last month and a half. If I hadn't gotten sick in December, we probably would have gotten a little farther. But I have people that are calling the volunteer activists and trying to find out what their level of commitment really is.
Yeah.
you're calling them or
No, I have people calling them.
oh, you have people calling them. Okay, well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I unassigned 2 volunteer activists this week during my calls. One person expressly said he was just done, didn't have faith in Convention of States anymore, or if there was a convention, he believed that we didn't have the power to really do what we wanted to do. And so I unassigned him, and then we had another one that I called that has been living in Florida now for 2 months, isn't coming back. So unassigned that one. So
Right.
The challenge is getting a hold of these people. And that's where
Sure.
I've had trouble. And I know the people that are calling people are having trouble.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to speak to them. You ask them to call you back, but they're not obligated to do that. So,
Well, listen, if you give them plenty of time to call you back, if they don't call you back, then they're not interested in being an activist. It
Right.
would seem to me.
yeah,
Sue,
Dale, there's,
Sue, according to this, you got 22 people.
There's no 22 people.
Larry, you got 25. No,
Oh, Larry, yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry, Susan. I cut you off.
No, you didn't. No, I agree. So, where do I find these people that are, the names of these people that need to be,
They're in Citizen Builder. You get under assigned volunteer activists.
Yeah, in the LMT, look in the LMT and then under role, pick like volunteer activists and then status will be assigned,
Okay, yeah,
then just, yeah.
They'll
We
also-
do really need to keep working on that, cleaning that up, call people, and if
okay,
they're not really interested, let's get them off of there. We'd like to get that list down so the LMT shows the people that are really engaged. Whether they're engaged in like meetings, things like that, or if they want to be a Telepatriot volunteer. We're trying to round up as many Telepatriot volunteers nationally as we can get, so that we've got hopefully hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, for the 2024 election cycle. And so that when we go to get out the vote calls, we can make, tens of thousands of calls.
okay, we'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm also cycling through those. As I see them, anybody that hasn't signed the volunteer agreement, I'm sending them a new one. And I've done this through 2 cycles now. So the next cycle, if they still haven't signed it, we can take those off too, probably, and be pretty safe. Because they've had, multiple opportunities to do that and just never did.
I have active people that aren't technically listed as activists, but they are right there. They're coming to the meetings. They're, participating in the activities. We have a booth, but they don't want to sign the agreement for whatever reason.
Wow.
Yeah, Cheryl, you can certainly utilize those people, but they cannot use the citizen builder things and
Right,
be a Telepatriot volunteer unless they sign the agreement.
right.
Thomas, did you have something you were trying to?
Yeah, let's don't be getting rid of Cheryl Parker. She's the only good volunteer activist I've got in the southern portion of the state.
We sent her a self-governance pen, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
By the way, Thomas, over the 4 regions you're in charge of, you got 43.
Oh, I thought you was getting ready to say 40,000.
You've got an army. You've got an army at your disposal.
Let me see. I have 2 DCs, Patrick
Yeah.
and Steve. And I have 2 DC team members that just recently went into House District 73. That's Don DeVoe, which I inherited him, and Ricky Sasser. Now I tried to get a hold of Don and Ricky, and getting a hold of Ricky is a little hard
Yeah,
because he works.
I have to give you the 2-minute warning. Our call is going to end in about actually a minute and a half now.
Oh, you're on a time call. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I have the poor man's version of Zoom.
I see. All right. All right. I'm sorry.
I
That's
got
okay.
something. Andrew Barkman, how do I get him to respond? Because Lisa's contacted him 3 times to send us the stuff, our paperwork or our things for block walking. She's requested it 3 times. I said something to him in our last meeting, and he said he had no idea what I was talking about. And Dale, did you ever talk to him this week?
Yeah, I was in a meeting with him this week, Vicky, but that I didn't have the chance to squeeze that in. The agenda didn't allow it.
Well, we're planning on starting block walking in April, and I talked to Lisa tonight, and she said, I don't know how to get him to send them. He acts like he doesn't know anything about it, and I said, well, is he getting your request? And she said, well, he's answered her. He just never sends it.
Why don't you contact Brenda and ask her for her assistance in getting a response? I think
Okay.
she's usually pretty good about that.
Yeah. That's surprising that he wouldn't contact you.
Any other questions or comments? Be sure to just, call me, Slack me, a message me, whatever. If you need something, And otherwise, this meeting is gonna probably disappear shortly. Anybody have any final comments? Last words?
Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you
Hey,
for what
hey.
you do.
Leadership Forum this Wednesday. And one of the people, we want to recognize Vicky Mooring for the work that she's done as Region Captain for 2022. And we want to recognize Diane Jones as Outstanding District